The powertrain in the Tonale PHEV is an improved version of the one in the Jeep Compass 4Z. It uses the same 1.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder petrol engine with 177 horsepower to power the front wheels with a 6-speed automated transmission. With 121 horsepower, the electric motor powering the rears is more potent than the Jeep's. The battery is bigger as well, with a 15.5 kilowatt-hours capacity. This opens up the fleet sector, where Alfa Romeo hasn't been able to compete in a while, and makes it possible for an astounding 43-mile EV range. The majority of what we've encountered in other Tonales is still present here, but there are some PHEV-specific features like the ability to charge the battery for a zero-emission zone or save it, as well as a downhill coast function that maintains 31 miles per hour while also charging the battery. The hybrid system's additional weight, which adds to the vehicle's substantial total curb weight of 1,835 kilograms, has been modified to be supported by the rear suspension. Alfa touts the Tonale PHEV as the sportiest vehicle in its class. Despite this, it has a sharp front end, and the steering is quick and might surprise you with its stunning directness, lightness, and lack of feedback. Therefore, despite the Tonale's initial appearance of being sporty, it actually offers little reward. The handling and weight both work against the Tonale's desire to be a dynamic vehicle. Even with the DNA drive selection set to D, handling is a little stiff, and it's challenging to achieve a nice flow around a series of curves. Even with adaptive dampers, which the Veloce also has, the Tonale still finds it difficult to control its weight over crests and bumps. Ironically, given the Tonale's placement, it performs best while you're relaxing. The suspension is hard even in N mode, but it's very well damped and doesn't crash, which really makes it rather pleasant. It settles down on the freeway, and the seats are very cozy. The drivetrain is also impacted by weight. In dynamic mode, this car only truly feels like it has 276 horsepower. While the Tonale has less of the mid-range lethargy that plagues the Compass 4Z because to the more potent electric motor, there is still a lot of it, as if the software will only activate the motor at significant right foot inputs rather than giving you an easy electric shove whenever it can. Other unexpected tactics of the Tonale discourage passionate driving. The brake pedal is quite sensitive, and if you apply pressure just a little bit more than you would during casual, everyday driving, the danger lights will turn on. Additionally, the lane keeping assistance is always pulling at the steering wheel, and not always in the right direction, even on a route without any markings. More logical areas are less depressing. The cabin is roomy, the controls are well labeled and simple to use, the infotainment system functions effectively, and there is good vision. Alfa is also putting a lot of emphasis on quality, and while it will largely become apparent over time, the car is very sturdy and has outstanding fit and finish. The materials, however, are a very eclectic mix, ranging from soft leather and extremely tactile shift paddles to some cheap plastics and rough rubber surfaces. The Tonale PHEV is a peculiar type of vehicle, so, despite all the talk of fervor and driving forces, its greatest selling point will be its appeal to reason. A low company automobile tax bracket is one of the biggest indicators of sensible appeal. With the exception of the Speciale, 20-inch wheels, all Tonale PHEVs are rated for an astounding 43 miles of EV range, placing them in the 8% BIC area while the majority of competitors slog along at 12%. In our earlier range testing of a Tonale PHEV, we got just over 30 miles out of it in below freezing conditions, indicating that high 30s might be possible in more favorable weather, a commendable performance for the class.